Olá, aqui ao meu lado John Atkinson. Ele foi o responsável pela primeira John Burland Lecture que aconteceu no Cobranseg. Vai falar um pouco pra gente sobre a educação da engenharia. Hello, Mr. Atkinson. It's a pleasure to have you here. To begin, we know that the world needs much engineering. And how do you think the universities are preparing the engineers for the profession?
In my Berlin lecture, I moved away from what happens inside the university, and I talked about what the university delivers to the world. What can the engineers that come out of the university do? Industry requires, firstly, engineers who can sit at a desk, do designs, earn money for the company on their first day. Industry also requires engineers who will progress through the company and become the senior engineers of the future. Those are not necessarily compatible requirements. So a university should think rather carefully, and people going to the university should think rather carefully about whether they are being educated and trained for the short term or whether they want to be considered as the future leaders of the country's engineering. And often those questions aren't really asked and considered, in my view.
And, well, you talked about what the companies want from the engineers. And what do the engineers need to have this?
If the engineer is going to progress through the company to senior engineering positions, not managerial positions, but engineering positions, in which they guide the technical quality of the company, then those people need to have an exceptionally good basic education in engineering, mathematics, mechanics, physics, chemistry, and all those things. If the company simply wants people, and they would want some people, to enter the company and to start designing simple structures very early in their career, they would use standard procedures, they would use standard codes of practice, so all the company would need would be somebody who could read a code of practice and apply what was in it. And they are very different things.
Perfect. And, well, I know you are not inside the university anymore, but what do you see in the companies and in the professionals nowadays? Do you think they are prepared to face these requirements?
Too many people make basic errors. So the answer to your question is no.
Okay. And how can the technology, the use of technology, improve the engineering quality?
Can I ask, sorry, what do you mean by technology? Do you mean computer-aided learning or computer-aided design?
Mainly,
I think you mean computer learning.
yes, and also the softwares we have nowadays that can help also the design and I think the work of the engineers.
There are actually two issues here. There's one about the use of technology in education, of which I am suspicious, but I'm old, so I would be suspicious. And the other one is the use of technology, large packages in industry. Now, it is perfectly easy for almost anyone to press some buttons and to get an answer. It is much more difficult to decide whether that answer is a reasonable one. So, in my view, and as I said in my lecture, the very basic qualities of an engineer are to be able to do whatever they have to do without any technology at all, simply with a pencil and a piece of paper. And if they can't do that, in my view, they should not be pressing buttons.
Perfect. Well, just to finish, how important is this kind of congress for the formation of the professionals?
That's a tricky one. On the one hand, it's networking, and people meet other people. When I was at City University in London a long time ago, I started a programme of conferences reserved only for research workers. And people who came to those conferences said the thing they learnt most about it was the problems and difficulties other research workers had in their universities. So I think for the young people here, it's an opportunity to see their contemporaries and to talk to them and learn about their difficulties. It is an opportunity to see senior engineers performing, but the young engineers ought to be encouraged to assess critically what they are being told.
Okay, thank you very much for your words.
Thank you very much indeed.